going to discuss about preparation of samples for infrared spectroscopy. There are different techniques for the preparation of samples for liquid, solid and gaseous samples. We know that when we place the sample under study in the path of the infrared beam, then stretching and bending vibrations of the molecules occurs and we will get information about the sample. That means here we are passing infrared radiations through the sample to get the information about the molecules present in that sample. Now let us study what are the different techniques for the preparation of samples in the infrared spectroscopy. Let's read the first point. First, to determine the infrared spectrum of a compound, one must place the compound in the sample holder or cell. As I have already said to you, if we need the infrared spectrum of a compound, then we must place the compound in a sample holder. If we place the compound in a sample holder and then we pass the infrared radiations, then we will get the information about the sample in the form of infrared spectrum. Now coming to the second point. Glass and plastics absorb strongly throughout the infrared region of a spectrum. See here, glass and plastics absorb strongly throughout the infrared region of the spectrum. So, cells must be constructed of ionic substances, typically that is of NaCl and KBr, that is sodium chloride and potassium bromide. The cells must be constructed of ionic substances. Please remember that. Here NaCl and KBr are chosen because these are transparent to the infrared radiations. Now coming to the third point. KBr plates are more expensive than the NaCl plates but have the advantage of usefulness in the region that is 4000 to 400 centimeter inwards. And NaCl plates are widely used because of their low cost. And the practical range of the NaCl extends from 4000 to 650 centimeter inwards. And you have to remember that NaCl begins to absorb at 650 centimeter inwards. Miller in 1965 had developed appropriate methods to handle sample in various states. As I have already said, that is in the gaseous samples for the liquid samples and solid samples. The sampling technique is different for them. Now coming to the gaseous samples, this is very easy. Here in the gaseous samples, let's read the first point. The vapor is introduced into special cell, usually about 10 cm long, that can be placed directly in the path of one of the infrared beams. See here, in the gaseous samples, the cell is usually of 10 cm long and the vapor is introduced into this cell and it is placed in the path of the infrared beams and we'll get the information about the molecules. Now see here, the other important point is that the end walls of the cell are usually made up of NaCl, which is transparent to infrared. I have already said that NaCl is used because it is transparent to infrared radiations. So here the end walls of this cell is made up of NaCl. And now coming to the next point, only a few thermally stable metal carbonyl, cyclopentadienyl compounds and certain acetyl acetone complexes can be examined in the gaseous phase. Let us study about the liquid sampling technique. Now let's read the first point. Liquids are usually handled pure, in essence without solvent, because all solvents have their absorption spectra. Here, see here, liquids are usually handled pure without the solvent because every solvent has their own absorption spectra which may interfere in the absorption spectra of the compound which is under study. So in many cases solvent is not used while examining the liquid samples. In some cases solvent is also used. See here, if the solvent is not used, then drop of liquid sample which is under study, that is a drop of liquid organic compound, is placed between a pair of polished sodium chloride or KBr plates, referred to as salt plates. Here the salt plates are sodium chloride and KBr plates. That means we should take a NaCl plate, and above this we have to place a drop of liquid organic compound which is under study, and then we have to place another salt plate upon this. That means this liquid organic compound is sandwiched between two sodium chloride or KBr plates. And next, when the plates are squeezed gently, a thin liquid film forms between them. And if we then apply some pressure and if we squeeze them gently, then a thin liquid film will form between them. So the spectrum determined by this method is referred to as neat spectrum. Why? Because solvent is not used. So this spectrum is termed as neat spectrum. Here only liquid organic compound which is under study is used. So it is termed as a neat spectrum. So here salt plates break easily and are water soluble, and organic compounds analyzed by this technique must be free of water. The pair of plates is inserted into a holder that feeds into a spectrometer. Observe the image. See here the pair of plates which are inserted in the holder, and the infrared radiation is passed through them to obtain the information about this organic compound. And if at all the solvents are used, then we'll use carbon tetrachloride, which is full in the 4000 to 1350 centimeter inverse region, and the CS2 is used in the range of 1330 to 625 centimeter inverse range. Here carbon tetrachloride and CS2 solvents, these both solvents are volatile and toxic and dissolve limited number of compounds. And other important point is that solvents must be dry and has least absorption in infrared region of the interest. That means they should have least absorption. They should not interfere in the spectrum of compound which is under study. So the solvent must be dry and least absorption in the infrared region of the interest. And remember that this carbon tetrachloride and CS2, these solvents are volatile, toxic and dissolve limited number of compounds. And in the liquid sampling technique, a pure solvent is used and it is placed in the reference beam. Coming to the solid sampling technique. Here, a wide variety of techniques are used for measurement of infrared absorption spectra of solid materials, and solid samples may be used in the form of solution, powder, glassy film or pellet. Here, there are 4 types of solid sampling technique. First one is solids run in solution, and second one is solid films, and third one is mull technique, and fourth one is pressed pellet technique. Let's study about solid run in solution. Here you have to keep it in mind that here the sample is solid. Here let's take the first point. If the solid is soluble in some suitable solvent and its solution can be made. See here we are having the solid in the sample in the form of solid. So if this solid is soluble in some suitable solvent, then this solvent is used for making of the solution. So it is called solid run in solution. Here if the solid is soluble in some suitable solvents, its solution can be made. What happens when we have a solute and a solvent? Then it can be converted, that is it is converted into solution. So here solution of the solid sample can be made. To the second point, however, suitable solvents are limited in number and none are totally transparent. And this is a very important point. Suitable solvents are very limited in number and none are totally transparent. Then carbon disulfide is transparent below 1330 cm inwards, while CCl4 is transparent above 1330 cm inwards. And next point is, care should be taken to place a cell filled with pure solvent in the reference beam. So in the reference beam, pure solvent is placed, and for examining the sample, we have to make the solution of solvent plus the solid which is under study. And pure solvent is used for reference. Now, Second type is solid films. Here amorphous solid samples may be cast into films from solution on an infrared transmitting window or solid melted between salt plates and allowed to cool into a film. Here amorphous solid samples are taken and they are casted into the film and they are placed in the path of infrared beam. A solid sample is taken and it is placed between the salt plates and it is made to cool and it forms a film, and this film is placed in the path of infrared beam and examined, and this technique is recommended for rapid quantitative analysis but not for qualitative analysis. This is very important point. This technique is not for qualitative analysis but it is recommended for rapid quantitative analysis. Now coming to the mull technique. Here the most convenient and routine method. Let's study about the mull technique. Here mull is nothing but making a paste. Now let's read the first point. Mulls are prepared by thoroughly grinding 1 mg of solid in a smooth edged mortar. See the image of edged mortar. This is the edged mortar and here is a pestle, and in this solid sample is taken and it is grinded smoothly. Here we will get the powdered sample. Then this powder sample is mixed with little high boiling petroleum, usually nozzle. So we have obtained a powdered sample. For this powder sample we have to add little high boiling petroleum, which is nozzle, and it is mulled to form a paste. Then we will get the paste of this nozzle and the powdered sample. Then this is transferred to flat plates of sodium chloride. As I have already said, we have to take a sodium chloride plate and we have to place a sample, that is our mull. Then again we have to place another sodium chloride plate on this, and this is examined by placing it in the path of infrared beam. Next, the main disadvantage of this method is that oil has CH stretching and CH bending absorption bands at 2857, that is 2857, 1449 and 1389 centimeter inwards, that may present in the analyzed compound. So for example, consider that if you are examining a compound, then what happens means, here this oil, that is nozzle, is having the absorption bands at 2857 and 1449 and 1389, which may interfere in the bands of analyzing compound. So this is the main disadvantage of this method. This method is very easy. First we have to take 1 mg of solid sample and grind it in the mortar, agate mortar, with the help of pestle, and this powder sample is mixed with nozzle and this paste is transferred to flat plates of sodium chloride. And we can also use halocarbon oil, fluorolube, hexachlorobutadiene in this mull technique. Now coming to the last method, that is pressed pellet method. Let's read the first point. It involves mixing the finely ground solid sample with powdered potassium bromide and pressing the mixture under high pressure. Here, as we have already studied, we have to grind the solid sample in the agate mortar with the help of pestle. This is the agate mortar and here the sample is used and it is the pestle. See the image of agate mortar with pestle. Here we are mixing the finely ground sample with powdered potassium bromide and pressing the mixture under high pressure, that is with the help of hydraulic press. See the image of the hydraulic press. Here we are making the pellets of KBr. After making the powder of this solid sample, then we have to mix it with KBr and see the image of dye there, and this mixture is placed in between the dyes and the pressure is applied through the hydraulic press and will obtain the pellets. So it is termed as pressed pellet technique. Then these pellets are examined by keeping them in the path of infrared beam. This mixture is placed under the high pressure by using hydraulic press. Here, let's read the second point. Under pressure, the potassium bromide melts and seals the compound into a matrix. So when we apply the pressure by the hydraulic press, then the potassium bromide gets melted and we will obtain the pellet like this. In this, it consists of KBr and solid sample, and you have to remember that a pure KBr pellet is used as the reference, and a KBr which is mixed with solid sample is used for our analyzing the sample. First we have to run the sample through the KBr only, that is KBr pellet only for the reference. Then we have to place this KBr plus solid sample pellet. Here under pressure what happens means this potassium bromide gets melted and seals the compound into a matrix. Next, the third point is not so advantageous because scattering of particles can be taken place because the pressure is applied is more, and then the partial decomposition of heat sensitive materials also occurs and polymorphic transition can also occur. So it is not so advantageous. It is still well suited and best general method for running the crystalline compounds in the solid state. So this pressed pellet technique is very much suitable for the crystalline compounds which is in the solid state. And the another main disadvantage of this method is that KBr absorbs water which may interfere with the spectrum that is obtained. So this forms the another disadvantage. This is about the sampling technique of infrared spectroscopy. Thank you for watching.